Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the Standards Weekly Check-In. I'm Colin. Behind the camera, we got the great Heavy Metal Dylan.
What's up?
I hate that so much. Today's vid, we're going to be getting into some staff picks, flipping through some new arrivals and recently priced records. As always, you see anything you like, give the shop a ring, cruise in or hit the DMs on Instagram. We are open 11 to 8, 7 days a week. Without further ado, let's look at some staff picks here. I'll lead with this is a fun retrospective. It's a Best of Lou Reed, which I know isn't very exciting, but the sequencing just really took me aback. I haven't really delved into some Lou and the Velvets in a minute, but hearing like Pale Blue, or I heard her call my name into Pale Blue Eyes. That sort of just, I had to pick two songs to just let you know what the Velvet Underground are about. Those are two really good ones. And as it goes on, putting the Kids on here, which is one of the most miserable songs any person has ever written, ever, it dips off a little bit towards the end, as kind of does Lou Reed himself. But during that era, at least. But yeah, really interesting collection. Seemed like very much so built around more like album cuts than quote unquote hits. Yeah, double LP, and I think the only real proper hit is Walk on the Wild Side. But anyways, fun little retrospective. I had a good time listening to it. Tell me about this up and coming artist that you're interested in, Dylan.
I don't think I've ever talked about this LP. Or this band, maybe.
Right.
But it's a fucking Slayer. Show No Mercy. It's the first LP. It's really good. If you like thrash metal, this is for Thrash Thursday. Tomorrow's gonna be Death Thrash Tuesday, though. This might be playing. Yeah, Death Thrash Tuesdays.
Well, you're not gonna go trad metal Tuesdays?
No.
Okay.
It's thrash metal Thursdays.
Yeah, it's trad Tuesdays.
Yeah, but I don't want to get confused. Death Thrash. And Friday is gonna be Finish.
Funeral Doom Fridays.
No, it's just Finish records the entire day.
That sounds like a delight.
Yeah.
Delightful time.
Yeah.
Let's look through some records. How hard is it to read a book, bro?
It depends. I think you can read comic books, but how much of it is reading? If you're talking about a book, I don't know, if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give a moose a muffin, that's easy.
Right, yeah, that is easy, but there are pictures in those books.
But it's not considered a comic book.
But a book with no pictures.
Zero.
Just words. Bro, I woke up today with one mission, which is to finish this book I've been reading.
Yes.
And then just getting maybe into a groove, and then my friend from the Bay Area, he was like, we should play this Ninja Turtle game online. I've never played a game remotely.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well I'm doing that now.
I'm doing this instead.
Yeah, so instead of reading a book, I just played that new Ninja Turtles game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game.
I know, you just pick it up and play it kind of anytime. It's not too in depth. But man, the real point is that it's hard to read. I have a deadline to read this book because a certain movie opens on Thursday, and once it opens and I watch it, I'm going to be too stupid to know how to read anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I only have a limited amount of literacy left.
Thursday, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the best movies of the summer is coming out this Thursday.
Is it a Marvel Studios property?
Hell no.
Is it a Star Wars property?
No.
Is anything owned by Disney?
No. Buzz Lightyear and the Minions Rise Crew. So I guess we are watching a Disney. Only one of them.
One of them is the main event. Okay, well, what is it then? I don't understand.
All right, we got ELVIS.
Yes,
the biopic of Elvis Presley and his manager, the Colonel.
If you told me Elvis and the Colonel, I would have assumed that the Colonel is a Southern gentleman. Probably looks like the KFC guy. Turns out he is a Nazi war criminal. According to Tom Hanks' portrayal of him.
Oh man, they shot the president, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, Ronald Reagan is the president and they murdered him. But guess what? This is no concern to you, Elvis. I keep telling you.
Cut a couple more years.
Yes.
I can't believe that, Monica Lewinsky.
Elvis, I'm sorry. I was in the middle of something. What?
Yeah, so the best part of this Elvis film is that he never dies.
I don't know about this new AOL, Colonel. They say I have to go on the internet. Elvis, it is just a fad. Do not concern yourself. I don't know why the Colonel is talking in this crazy German accent.
And he's always calming him down to make more songs and prepare for work.
This is gonna be the dumbest movie ever made, and I'm gonna be there opening night, hopefully in an empty theater.
Yeah.
Other than weird Doja Cat stands, because the soundtrack, it's insane.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah. YouTube questions. This is the part of the video where we answer the question left in last week's YouTube comments sections, and we got a few here. Guess what? They're both not for me, but for you, Dylan. Heavy Metal Dylan.
Yes.
You wake up.
I'm awake.
Okay, you ready to answer some metal questions?
Yes.
All right. Alex K hitting us with some another great one. This one is, what metal album would you like to see covered by another band? They have to be different styles of metal. His example is like, Mortician covering Fistful of Metal, which, by the way, sign me up.
I don't know if I'm ready for that, dude.
You don't know?
Mortician Anthrax record cover album.
Well, here's what comes to mind immediately.
Yes.
The 6 Feet Under Graveyard Classic series. There you hear like a death metal band covering like more traditional heavy metal stuff, and it is a horror show. It is truly one like a Lovecraftian nightmare come to life. So I think we got to avoid that, right?
Yeah.
We can all agree.
Yes.
So it's like, Obituary covering Priest or something is going to be a little awkward. I have an answer though, and I'm confident in this.
Yeah.
So I think you don't want to go like a classic band doing another classic band to some extent. I think you go with a newer band and kind of paying tribute to the greats. I want to hear Midnight cover Discharge's Grave New World. Because Grave New World is a metalish hard rock record. Having the kind of the nastier, more Venom approach to that would probably give it the rougher edge that maybe the record could benefit from. I'm a Grave New World enthusiast, so don't get me wrong. I think that record is perfect as it is, but I think there's enough there to where you could kind of have an interesting palette to work with and expand on. So that's my pitch. I pitched that in earnest. Heavy Metal Dylan.
I would have 200 Stab Wounds cover the entire Welcome to Hell.
Okay.
Really.
You think they're ready? You think they can slam that sickness?
Yeah, but it would just be funny because they would have to do like either take away blast beats or just add a bunch of blast beats.
Yeah, and I guess gotta like make the breakdowns a little nastier.
Yeah.
The slow parts.
Yes.
Not really breakdowns.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I think there's room for expansion. Again, you gotta go with a newer band.
Yeah.
You gotta pay tribute to the classics.
It's one of the newer bands I like.
Yeah.
In death metal.
All right. And the last question of the day, and this is also Heavy Metal Dylan's terrain, man. You're on the map. You're on the board. You're on the board map.
Yes.
Top 3 metal songwriters.
Oh.
Greg Hicks is asking, and his example, he says Dio, Jerry Cantrell, and Steve Harris. Mm-hmm. So what do you got? What do you got in your pocket?
All right. I think we're both in agreement on something.
Right.
And I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I think we both are in agreement that Scott, Ian, and Charlie Benante working together.
Yes.
Is like the most perfect thrash duo in terms of like riffs and songwriting, because like Charlie makes the riffs and Scott makes the lyrics.
Well,
it all works out.
Yeah, since we're both on this one, I'll put my bit in on this. I think that in terms of what I really look for and appreciate in groups and that I listen to a lot is fluidity. I like when one part goes into the next part, goes into the next part, goes into the next part, flows. It's really hard to do in metal because it's so technical and kind of gets up its own ass, and there's speeding and there's solos and there's all this shit to navigate. So when you can make a really good flowing album, song, etc., I think all the greats do. I think the Anthrax boys being like disciples of Maiden and all that, they kind of coming from more traditional songwriting. Mm-hmm. That's what I think is stellar in that, and the tone of the lyrics. I really like. I don't know, some of the more forward thinking, particularly given in a world where they did not have to be forward thinking.
Yeah, granted, it's very there's a lot of lighthearted lyrics.
Right.
But when they come and like have a message for you, like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And even in the lighthearted stuff, were they wrong about Judge Dredd? No. Yeah. The credit.
Of course not.
So what's your number 2?
That is like a really good pick. I think I would have to put Steve Harris on mine.
Yeah.
Because I love like a lot of Maiden, and I know like Steve Harris has a lot to do with it. So we have the Anthrax. Yeah. Steve Harris of Maiden. Now this is going to be the tough one. Okay. Because I don't know where it lies.
Right.
Do I say Mike Clark and Rocky George, or do I say Mike Muir, George, and Clark? What do I say?
I don't know who broke up how the suicidal songwriting was broken up. Yeah. And especially if we're defining songwriting as just lyrics, or if we're defining it as either way. I mean, like riffs. Yeah, because suicidal does have that beauty of both great lyrics and riffs. Great riffs. So
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Because like I don't imagine Mike Muir coming up with a riff.
Right.
And I can imagine like I could see it where Mike is just all lyrics.
Yes.
But the riffs are split between Muir and George.
Yeah.
I guess you could say the suicidal team.
Okay.
If you want to put it like that. Especially when they're just metal.
Yeah, and to Muir's credit, lyrics that convey a consistent kind of brand, if you will, you know, it's a really tough thing to get down. Even if we are just going with lyrics, I think he's definitely deserves a hat in the ring. I like that top three. The other band I've probably spent most time listening to lately, especially, I'm like deep in this death phase still, and Chuck Schuldiner is just, in terms of fluidity, I don't know of any other bands in the metal world especially that flow as smoothly as that. Every one of those parts is just right where it needs to be, and that's musically, and that's before you get into the lyrics, which I think are really interesting and valuable. But just from a musical perspective, I think like that, like, the compositions are incredible. And lastly, I'll give it to Halford, you know, for lyrics. The way they militarized metal, you know, and they really turned it into like an ideology. In the same way that like Dictators did with like the first wave of punk, and like, you know, Black Flag did with the first wave of hardcore, where they're like, this is, if you're in this fucking tribe, this is what you're about. Judas Priest lyrics, again, even if there are no riffs involved, I think they created something really unique and interesting with their music for the time that they did. I'll give them credit for there. So there we go. Too wordy, probably. Is that too much?
No, you're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Ooh, I know there's sarcasm.
No, you're good. You're good.
I know you're sarcasm.
No, it's fine.
Thanks for watching, everyone. That's the end of the video. If you have any questions you would like to see answered in next week's video, leave a comment in the YouTube comments section, and we'll address it next week. Thanks for watching again. Peace. Trad Metal Tuesdays?
No.
Okay.